Welcome to episode 8 of the 2025 mock draft series. We're going to be doing something a little different tonight, and we'll get that going right after, the intro. How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday night? As you can see, I kind of changed up my background a little bit. Still 49er flag flying. But let's bring in our guys here. We got from the West Coast, we got Kenny.
Howdy.
No, they didn't kill Kenny yet today, folks. The day's still not over there.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny.
And then from the Daly City Bay Area, we got John J.
What's up?
It's just us right now.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully the Broncos fan Kyle decides to show up. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. You never know.
Yep.
He doesn't know any of us, so can't expect him to just jump on with us. And he knows like Joe Stevens and Levi, but neither of them are going to be with us tonight because they got projects going on.
Oh, thank God.
Chad Schrader. What is good, buddy?
Hola,
What
Chad.
is this? What is this? You're turning 31. You're still... I only got 17 years on you.
Yep.
But yeah, happy early birthday, buddy.
Yep.
It's like...
Happy birthday.
Or what Kenny would say, Feliz cumpleaños.
Yeah, Feliz cumpleaños, my dudo.
Yeah, my Spanish is bad.
I like to say Spanish, but like with an American accent. Like to make,
Spanish, but with an American accent.
Yeah, for Joe Lay's Negroes.
So you pronounce the words with the English version instead of the...
Yeah.
What in the living hell?
That way people think I'm not Spanish. They think I'm English, but I know Spanish.
Well, you could always say, what in the Sam hell?
I could.
But, so what we're going to start off with tonight, folks, and this was suggested by old Kenny here, is we're going to do a single round of all 32 teams. He seems to think he knows what the teams want, which is, it's possible. Right?
I do. I have some good knowledge from some very intelligent people of what they need after the latest free agent signings.
Are you saying your co-host from your other podcast?
No, he's not going to be.
That would actually be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I guess I could ask Jason. Jason, the problem with Jason is that he's in Florida like Levi, and he's got a wife and he works very early like John Jay, so he may not be able to do it, but I will ask him.
Well, tell either one they're invited. They can draft for their team. I don't care. We all know that.
Yeah, David's also on the East Coast, or he may be in the middle. I don't remember, but I'll ask him as well.
Oh, not me. Oh, you're talking David, the David, Giants fan. Yeah.
My other coach.
I was like, what? I was like, I'm in the forgotten time zone. That'd be Mountain Standard Time.
Are you by the Grand Tetons? Is that where you are?
Somewhere in the Rockies in Utah, folks. The
Badlands?
Yeah, that gives them absolutely no clue. Isn't that great? Setting this up. So 32 teams for one freaking draft.
Yeah, we can make the picks. We can all decide together.
Yep.
All right, draft simulator. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. Let me share my screen so we can.
Very secretive.
Oh wow, Chad.
Oh yeah.
I don't. He might be in. You never know. I actually sent it. I sent it to the groups after getting the bad seed out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm actually watching for Spongy here. It looks like nope. That's me. That's me 1, 2, 3 times. Wow, the world's gonna end.
Spongy might have a date.
We're going.
Speaking of dates,
round.
I was on one.
Oh, really?
But that's a different conversation.
We're going 1 round. Can I just pick all teams? Select all teams. Look at that.
Yes, you can do.
This ain't gonna be such a to-do, is it?
Yeah, because you can't even scroll down. You have to click every one.
That's exactly it. For 1 round, all teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can do. I mean, if you want to do 2, it's fine with me, or 3. I'm just saying maybe we should do 1 and get it on camera on film and see our receipts and see how we do in a few weeks. It's 5 weeks up until the draft. We could do this draft 3 more. The
video will be up on YouTube, so we could totally rewatch this and see how we did.
Yeah, we might hit on some good stuff. We could be horribly wrong, and that would be funnier.
And we could be. So I'm going to start the draft, and it'll tell us, hey, you have to draft someone right off the bat. Bam, you're on the clock. So who are the Tennessee Titans taking?
Well, I think we all know. I think everyone knows who they're taking. Supposedly, the word is Cam Ward. And from what I understand, they need a wide receiver, a quarterback, and an edge. And so Abdul Carter is also an option. It's really
so
a tough decision.
The one thing the Titans haven't had for a long time is a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
John Jay, what's your input here?
So if they are drafting a quarterback, they must have given up on Mr. Coffee with what
mayonnaise boy.
Maybe that doesn't help you in the NFL. Yeah, it says quarterback, edge, corner, and offensive tackle. And so, unfortunately, because this is a quarterback-driven league, you got to draft a quarterback. And looks like Will Levis is not the answer. They need a lot of help. But I would go with the quarterback. It could be Shador. It could be Cam Ward. It could be Dart. You never know what they want. They can
word is they're heavily scouting Cam Ward though, out of all of them.
Yeah, the word is Cam, and then they did add a few offensive linemen in free agency. So I think that may be the pick.
So they probably
All right. Then they're drafting Cam Ward. All right, who are the Browns taking? All 3 of the top teams say QB.
This is a lot tougher.
Anyway.
And the main reason it's a lot tougher is because, Deshaun Watson, with that injury, he's not playing next year. I mean, is it time to move on from him? Probably.
Well, he said he promises to come back and make a real comeback and be a good quarterback again. That's what I read today.
But does that mean it's actually going to happen? Right.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And they just made Myles Garrett the highest paid non-quarterback,
$40 million a year, something like that. 4 years, something like that.
Yes, the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. So it would only make sense. Oh, poor Steve-O. He lost his earbuds.
Oh.
What up, Steve-O?
What's up, Steve?
Well,
I had a tragedy happen. I lost one. Now, keep in mind, I have probably 6 or 7 sets of earbuds right now.
Wow.
So no biggie.
I don't have a single.
But kind of depends on application. When I'm at work, I have this one. You see the hook?
The hook
because the ones that this is the one I'm actually missing. These go flying out of the scissor lift, and who
check all your
towels? Where it went?
Maybe it stuck to one of your towels.
It's like one of these days we'll be moving a piece of equipment and I'll find it, But anyway, so the Browns right here, and they do need everything.
They really do.
Do they actually take Abdul Carter, or do they take Will Johnson?
Who wants to go first?
I mean, huh?
Who wants to talk about him first?
You go for it, buddy.
Okay. I think this is a tougher one. I know they need a quarterback, but right now they have Deshaun Watson and they have Kenny Pickett. Now, is Deshaun Watson able to play at all this year, or is what's going on? Is he coming back, or is he missing the entire year?
He had his Achilles late enough where that's questionable. It's all like up for debate type of thing.
Well, the problem is that as much as they need a quarterback, the word on the street from at least 50% of people is that Shador is straight trash and doesn't need to go in the first. The other 50%, it's like the other 50% are like, he's awesome. And so that's what it comes down to, right? But here's another thing to think of is that they have Myles Garrett. He's always saying, I don't ever have that other equal on the other side of me. And so Abdul Carter is there, and he's supposed to be like the next Micah Parsons. So if you can have the next Micah Parsons next to Myles Garrett, and you got quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow in your division, it's probably something to think about in order to stop those offenses. Because the truth is even if you throw Shador in there, does anyone think that Cleveland is going to start winning a bunch of games because Shador is the quarterback?
And that is 100% it. You know, I honestly think Abdul Carter is the pick here, but at the same time, would they want Abdul Carter or would they want Travis Hunter?
Right, because Travis Hunter supplies two positions for you, right?
Yes.
Again, really tough one here. I feel like Cleveland fans obviously would know better. I know one Cleveland fan. I haven't seen him since he used to go on TED Talks. Remember that? On TED.
Yes.
I forgot his name. He was like Mike. I forgot Mike. Maybe his name was Mike, but he was a Cleveland fan. I know you know him, David. I'm sure you've seen him, John Jay. He was a good dude. I don't know what happened to him.
All right, John Jay, what's your input here?
Yeah, my bad. I was muted for a little bit.
Oh, you're good.
So are we still on the Cleveland?
Yep.
Yes.
So is Deshaun Watson still on the roster?
Yes,
Yeah,
he is. I have
Okay.
not seen him be. I'll Google this just to make sure here.
Yeah, David, look it up because I don't even know if the guy can stand. But I know they added Kenny Pickett. Now, Kenny Pickett, of course, he said he's going to be the starter because that's what you say when you get somewhere because you want to look like an ass.
So thank you for the information. So they got Kenny Pickett, who was a former first rounder. Maybe it might, get another chance to. I'm not saying he's going to transform the team, but if you have a quarterback there, if Watson is still on the roster, the quarterback is not a need. And I would go with Edge. Edge is always a safe pick. Like if Abdul Carter is a safe pick, you go after, and make that defense better. They re-sign Myles Garrett, have a too scary, pass rush. So that's what I would do. I'll get the best available player, which is the edge rusher.
That's actually how I'm looking at it because Deshaun Watson is still on their roster, and they just traded for Kenny Pickett.
Right,
so
and Kenny
Abdul Carter,
Kenny is capable of being the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I think we know that because Jameis Winston was the quarterback.
He's got those baby hands,
He does, but like we said, they're not going anywhere as far as offense goes, right? So why not make that defense nasty? Like that's what I know. Like when I think of Cleveland, I think of like a tough defense. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think of.
So now we're on the New York Giants. Throwback. What's cracking, buddy?
What's going on, everybody
in the chat? What's going on, Throwback? Good to see you. Thanks for pulling up, man.
Chad is in the chat.
Appreciate you.
Steve O in the chat.
I'm not sure if anyone's ever going to notice that I swapped the flags in back of me, but when they do,
well, I know because you told me, but.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. I may have noticed that thing right over your head, though, because I probably would have noticed that, yeah.
Well, any 49er flag is a great 49er flag. So
that's right.
This is true. So the New York Giants, I think this is Shador Sanders.
Yep.
I know they got Jameis Winston, but you sign him because you need a backup quarterback or you need someone to fill in while your quarterback develops.
I really like
Am I wrong?
I really like Shador under Jameis's wing too. Am I crazy?
Yes.
I know how wild that sounds, but still,
that is true.
I like it.
I'm so glad that I'm putting my input. I was just talking to YTC just about before I hopped on. We were having a great conversation. We're talking about non-sports stuff as well. But I said this to him last night because we were talking last night. you're getting a quarterback who has a lot of experience in the NFL. I know he's not nothing special, but he has a lot of experience in the NFL.
Yep.
And so they're trying to strengthen that quarterback room. And so, and I have been saying this, that maybe New York and Shador make a lot of sense because, he has that, charismatic, nature, just like his dad. New York, the Big Apple, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
And
prime time. Maybe his name could be Showtime Shador.
And you never know. Maybe, he said, you know what? Maybe the Giants will give him like a consulting job. You never know, something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and he was in New York about a month and a half ago for some reason, and the writing's on the wall. There's a lot of things that the Giants, like, they need a lot of help. But I think they do have to get the quarterback now. I know a lot of people want to wait for what's going to happen with Archie Manning. But, yeah, get the quarterback right now. Like, focus on that and then build the team.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. The coach doesn't have the option to wait for Archie Manning because, if you're losing another season and then having to develop another, you're just wasting your career, and the Giants are likely to fire you if you do that.
Yeah, Giants need to win now, and so does Tennessee. So that's why that quarterback is important.
And so I honestly think Shador Sanders is the pick here.
I think you guys.
I honestly like him more than Cam Ward.
Shador and Malik neighbors, I think, is going to be really fun.
So here we are. We're on the New England Patriots. Now, QB is not a thing for them.
Not anymore.
I think this is where Travis Hunter goes off the board.
I think you're right. Hard to pass up.
What do you think, John Jay?
All right, so I actually know a Patriots fan. He's a good dude, but he lives in Louisiana, so that's kind of weird. But he says that the organization is leaning towards, and this is a Patriots fan, so they're leaning more to Hunter. And so I'm gonna take his. Again, I don't know too much about the Patriots, but it makes a lot of sense. And if that's where the team is looking at and, like hoping, probably he is going to the Patriots.
And that's where I'm at. Kenny?
I agree with you guys. Great job.
Bam.
All
right. So every mock draft has Mason Graham going. Should I just do it?
Yeah, him or Will Campbell, but I think they might need it on defense a little more, the trenches. Also, I've seen people talking about like Tet McMillan, even though I don't even think he's the best wide receiver in this draft. That's another conversation. But I have seen people taking him because they think that, what's his name needs a wide receiver like that.
Honestly, I think
BTJ is there, right? And he's been great. But with Liam Cohen, if you can give him a guy who, if you guys don't know, is the fastest guy at his size since like Mike Evans. And so it's possible that Liam Cohen could think about taking Tet McMillan. That's all I'll say about it. What do you guys think? I also love Mason Graham. I think that's the obvious pick too. So,
well, I'm not necessarily in love with Mason Graham because he had quite the beast next to him that was eating blockers up and freeing him up to make plays.
Yes, he did.
So it's kind of.
And also, I've heard some crazy stuff out there that's saying some people out there, I'm not going to say who, is saying that Mason Graham has short, stubby arms, and he was barely 300 pounds at the combine. Now, I heard he's also put on 10 pounds since then, but.
He was 296 at the combine. He just had his pro day, and he was weighing in at 306, so he put 10 pounds on.
He's got short, stubby arms, I heard. Now, I've never seen him.
He's been hitting the arm stretcher. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know about
He's been hanging from trees all day.
Hey, T-Rex still gets his prey, okay?
Mm-hmm. He does.
So do alligators, and they both have short arms.
That's true, but it takes very stupid animals, though.
Papa J, what's cracking, buddy? So yeah, I honestly think Mason Graham has been mocked to these guys so much. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go Will Johnson because you see corner is a need. Why is corner a need twice on there?
No, I have. Well, actually, I think they may have signed somebody just recently for a cornerback. We can look into it if you want. But what I see here for the Jags is wide receiver, safety, and defensive tackle. Now, safety and corner, yes, you can count them as the same thing, depending on the guy.
Well, we're going defensive tackle because everyone has them taking Mason Graham.
Yeah,
all
I
right,
think
the Las Vegas Raiders. So do they have a QB yet?
That's a good question.
The Raiders? Wait a minute, stop it. You know they have a quarterback. He used to be a Jet. So did Sam Darnold. So did Aaron Rodgers. None of them.
Oh, they got Geno Smith. I forgot.
Yeah, Geno Smith.
That's right. The
Las Vegas.
So they don't have a quarterback. Should we draft someone?
Guys, that's why I brought my own stuff, because this draft may not be uploaded yet. What I have here for Las Vegas is running back, wide receiver, and cornerback. Cornerback, I think, is their biggest need. But I know people like Genty going to them too. I'm going to go cornerback. Will Johnson is my pick. Will Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Corner Will Johnson. And I 100% see Pete Carroll going this route because you remember he had the Legion of Boom, right?
Boom.
What do you think, John Jay?
So I think, growing up in the Bay Area, they used to be known as the Oakland Raiders for those who are too young to remember. And they do a lot of things that most teams don't do. They drafted a kicker in the first round. They were very, we need that. They're not afraid to.
They nailed it too. They nailed that pick, by the way.
And then one year they said, you know what? Let's look at this guy Michael Crabtree who wants to be a Raider, but they say, you know what? This guy ran faster, Hayward Bay, and so maybe.
Oh wow!
They're like, you know what? We may do something that makes no sense. And again, as a 49er fan, it's always great mocking the Raiders. Too bad they're not in the Bay no more. They're in another state, but we have the Rams to do that. We can make fun of them. And so in just, my, perspective, they might do like something flashy and look at the best available player, the Gentry.
You're saying Raiders are going to do Raiders things.
Yes. And they might, hey, let's draft, Gentry, a big name, he had a great year in college. You never know what they could do.
Yeah, you're right. I can even see them taking Ted McMillan for the same reason that you're saying Gentry.
You never know what they can do. So my input is that just when it comes to the Raiders, expect the unexpected.
I love Golden. I don't think other people do as much, though. He's my number one wide receiver.
He's currently the number one wide receiver on the board. So
he moved up.
I honestly think the Raiders go corner right here. But Kenny, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they go Will Johnson because they don't have a cornerback. They need that CB1. So that's why I'm leaning towards that. I feel like they could still get even Omarion Hampton in the next round. Like, if they want a running back, they can still get
Patrick Mahomes, and then they're going to have Rashid Rice back too.
But John,
we're at the Jets. We're at the Jets.
Raiders.
So is this when we see Jackson Dart be taken off the board?
Ooh.
Well, they do have the great $40 million man, Justin Fields. And I was talking to a Bears fan, and he's like, they're going to the playoffs in his very unique voice. So they're not taking a quarterback.
Yeah, I wouldn't say quarterback. I would say, yeah, it's up there, but I would remove quarterback. So what I have for the Jets is offensive tackle, wide receiver, defensive tackle, trenches, and a wide receiver. So,
and you have Kelvin Banks Jr. and Will Campbell.
And you lose Devontae Adams. There. Remember, you lost Devontae Adams. Do you like Ted McMillan? I don't know. I have not even seen that one time, I think, mocked to the Jets. But,
you scroll down the list. There's Mimbo. There's Walter Nolan. There's Kenneth Grant. That's the guy I was just talking about. The guy that was beside Mason Graham, making him look good.
Tyler Conklin was their tight end last year. I believe their first tight end one. He went to the Chargers just now. I'm going to say Tyler Warren. I know it's not up there, TE, but I'm saying Tyler Warren. How do you not take that guy? I think you got to take him.
I think you just got Justin Fields, and you need to get him all the help he can get, right?
Yeah, he's usually running around somewhere. So
yeah, so I'm on board with Tyler Warren. What about you, John Jay?
Tight end.
the Jets still have the players that Salah, drafted, so they're still there.
They have a great defense already. Yeah.
Apparently, one of the wide receivers played with Justin Fields in Ohio State, so they're going to need a lot of help. Again, I would go to protect him, offensive line, but also the tight end. I think tight end makes more sense because you can block for him and you can be also a playmaker. So
correct, he could be an offensive lineman and a wide receiver.
True. So
okay, Carolina, it says edge, corner, wide receiver, guard. What do you got?
Wow. All right, edge, corner, wide receiver, guard. For Carolina, I have wide receiver, edge, and safety. That's it. Wide receiver, edge, and safety. Now,
so wide receiver and edge is the two here.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying before that CB could also be a safety. So it could be a safety.
So they're all set at offensive tackle.
Who did they just add? Didn't they pay somebody a bunch of money to go there? You think they would take Will Campbell, you mean? I don't know. If I'm Carolina, I go defense, bro. I go defense. I like my offense already if I'm Carolina. We got weapons out there. Bryce Young is starting to get a little better.
Well, that's the thing is you got to get Bryce Young a wide receiver. So do you get
There's a bunch, guys, but Thielen and Leggett and like some young people. Tommy Tremble, I think, re-signed. And Jatavian Sanders, I believe, is still there. So they got 2 tight ends. You want to look at their roster real quick? I mean, we're not waiting for anybody.
Nah.
I would go defense with Carolina. That's just my or wide receiver. I agree. Wide receiver, I would also edge and wide receiver before.
Well, that's the thing is who they going to be looking at, Golden or McMillan. McMillan's a bigger target.
Yeah. So maybe this is just the bias in me, and again, you're making the official picks. Arizona, the University of Arizona, the Arizona schools, they do produce great talent, but not all of them are like draft worthy players. And so I kind of avoid Arizona schools. In basketball, it's a different story, but I would go for the Texas wide receiver because Sarkisian, I think that's the name of the coach.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to pick them, and Texas has been pretty good the last couple of years. And so I'm more trustworthy because Sarkisian is like sort of like a Shanahan, those type of offenses. And so good pro style receivers. That's just what my take is.
And that's kind of how I'm looking at it too. Is I think they'll go with the faster guy. So they're getting Matthew Golden for wide receiver Texas to the Panthers. Okay. So here we are. These guys are saying guard, but I know New Orleans needs tackles. What do you got, Kenny?
New Orleans, I think that can I be honest with you? I know people are not going to love this. I don't know how you pass up on Will Campbell. You know what I mean? If he falls to you. Oof. All right. Nola, wide receiver, cornerback, and edge. So obviously, forget what I just said about Will Campbell. But apparently they want wide receiver, cornerback, and edge. So, Ted McMillan, right? They have one wide receiver over there, Olave. Last year, I think the leading receiver for the Saints last year was a tight end. And no, it wasn't the guy who's 37 years old and is also the quarterback. It was Juwan Johnson, I think, was their leading receiver. And so they need a wide receiver. And if Olave comes back healthy, then whoever the quarterback is there has some options. I know the defense is looking a little better. So I would go offense. Wide receiver, Ted McMillan.
I'm agreeing with that. I mean, New Orleans is New Orleans. So this is where Alshon Jeanty goes off the board, right?
I agree because that would be perfect for the Bears.
These guys, they still got O-line, guard, tackle, D-line, and I'm looking at it like they just added so much to their O-line in free agency.
Guys, if Will Campbell, I agree, Jeanty's the pick for the Bears. If Will Campbell fell to us, you cannot pass up on him, right? Am I right? Like, does Kyle look at Will Campbell and take someone else in that situation?
Okay, well, I'm going with Genty to the Bears because we all know that's going to happen if he falls.
We were past that. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. I think.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about the Bears, but the pick said no worries.
Go ahead.
So 6'5", 315. This is Banks Jr., a guy that I think is getting overlooked.
He really is. He's still my number one tackle in this draft over Membo, even though I love Membu. It's Membu, actually, because there's an Membo.
He's got 33.5-inch arms.
He was the starter for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Gave up, I think, 1 sack a year for 3 years.
This guy athletically is up there with Trent Williams.
Okay, so here, I know this is crazy and we're not doing any trades, but guys, if we were able to get 11 pick and then move up to get the 12th pick and we can get Campbell and we can get, can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Campbell and then have the next pick and still get another pick at 12, then we could wait a round if we had to give up our second round pick and still have plenty of options for people. But getting 2 of these guys in the top 10, 15 would be incredible. Remember, 2 quarterbacks went, right? Yeah. So these are still, our pick is still a top 10. Keep in mind,
the Niners have also looked at Membo. Now Josh Simmons, and here's Membo, 6'4", 332. He's got the weight.
Yeah.
So his arms are 33.5, which match Kelvin Banks.
His span is not good, but
so free agency passed by. The draft is basically position players that you weren't able to pick up. We had a huge exodus of a lot of players, and we lost our guard. So I do think that how the Niners' philosophy is trenches. Now, they have kind of always thrown curveballs at us and got picks that were like, you would scratch your head, and then later down the road, it made a lot of sense. And there are a lot of good players in the offensive line that I would want. How I look at the 49ers is I always expect the unexpected. And our running back room is like, we don't know what CMC is going to be. We let Mason go. Unexpected. Are they willing to draft a running back at that pick? I don't know. We drafted a wide receiver last year. After Debo's gone, it makes a lot of sense. Pearsall will get a lot of more work next season. But the line is important because you got to protect Brock Purdy. On the defensive side, we got to look at the linebacker. And so this pick, Banks is there. Will Campbell's there. What was the other tackle that was shown?
Membo.
Yeah.
And if the Niners are
and Stewart, I mean, all 4 of them are here.
If the Niners are looking at him, like there's many possibilities. I still will look at the trenches, defensive tackles also. So I would go defensive tackle or offensive tackle in that pick, but it comes down to your decision, McNiner.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. Very tough.
If we really had our choice between Banks, Membo, and Will Campbell, I feel like we would need more than the 2 minutes we're allowed to pick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't know what the hell to do at that point. Yeah. I would almost think that we could possibly even trade back. Not today and in this draft. I mean,
probably in the future.
Could happen, and where we move back just a few picks and still can get one of those 3. Mm-hmm. But, everyone is in love with the defensive tackle this year. We need defensive tackles, and I understand we do. So
so it's tough as a 49er fan.
Yeah.
But, offensive line, we have to, because, again, Brock Purdy, they're going to give him a contract, and you got to protect that investment.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone who stopped by my channel. I really appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for everyone that's pulling it. What's up, Bebop? What's cracking, buddy?
Bebop says another Ruben.
Yeah, so this is pretty much D-line edge. James Pierce is the best available edge. I'm not high on Shamir Stewart, and it has to do with his production.
I don't like any of those 3 guys, to be honest with you. No Pierce, no Stewart.
It does, though. It has to do with his production. How can you be that athletically talented and only have 1.5 sacks all 3 years you started?
I really like Sawyer.
And I mean all 3 years consistently, total of 4.5.
I like Sawyer in round 2.
But I mean, at this point, how do you pass up on Banks? He's not. The thing about it is he's not as athletic. Like, I mean, his shuttle 4.66, 10-yard 1.79.
He doesn't move as great as you would like him to. He needs to work on his, he needs to work on his footwork for sure. But hopefully our coaches can help him. What he's done though is started at left tackle for the last 3 years and done a very good job. And I believe John Jay could confirm this or not. Is in a good division that Texas plays in, and so that's a good test to know. He's done it consistently. Now, Membo, honestly, I need to know more about. As much as I love him, I really need to know more about him. Campbell is somebody that I've heard is going to be in the NFL for like 15 years. So it's super hard to pick one of these guys. They all don't have really long arms, so that's not really the problem, right? It's a tough call.
It really is a tough call, especially if all these guys fall to us, which I kind of doubt's going to happen.
And you know what? Dallas wouldn't trade with us because there's no reason to, right? They already know we're probably not taking the same thing, so that's not going to happen. Miami is in this. I think Miami is like us. They would take any of those three, Banks, Campbell, or Membo. So it's really weird.
It has offensive tackle, offensive center, offensive guard, and corner as our needs.
All right, and who do we got this year? I heard that McKivitz is going to be moving to left guard. Is that right? Because we're going to be drafting a right tackle, is what I heard.
This could happen.
And then we would have Cooney at right guard still, even though I really would like him at left guard. And then
I wouldn't mind. Now, I actually like McKivitz at guard because then he doesn't have to deal with the speed rushers.
Well, also, that's where we run all the time, according to everyone, and they're not totally wrong. But we run to the left because Trent is over there now. If you put Trent and McKivitz next to each other, how nasty is that going to be?
So I actually like Will Campbell over Banks here just because how the 49ers think. Will Campbell is more athletic than Banks.
He is.
And I mean, when it comes to Josh Simmons coming off the knee injury, we will not be drafting him, folks. Shout out to Javon Kinlaw wasting 3 years of our time.
Something crazy today. Did you guys know that Atlanta doesn't really pick Georgia Bulldogs? They pretty much stay away from them. I think that's kind of weird, don't you think?
That is kind of weird. So. Yep. What do you think, John Jay? Who do you think gets drafted out of these guys here?
Yeah, we're gonna have to pick eventually.
Yeah. So a quick note. I know a Georgia Bulldog fan, and apparently they don't pan out in the NFL. I wanted to say that. Again, I'm going with offensive line. That is my final decision because, again, I said it. We got to protect Brock Purdy. He's going to get paid something. We don't know. It might be a lot. It might be a team friendly. We do not know, but we will find out. But you guys still got to protect that investment. And I want to remind people, I know some people don't want to hear this name. When Jimmy was given that money at the time, was a lot of money. Did they really give him protection?
No, they most certainly did not.
So protect your quarterback.
And the man was up 10 points. Well, not alone, but we were up 10 points against the almighty Chiefs with Jimmy Garoppolo, man. Okay? Never forget that.
That's true. That's true. So I think it's going to be Will Campbell just because, Banks, he's good, but I don't think he's athletic enough to satisfy Shanahan.
I agree. Will Campbell's like a professional starter in this league.
And they've also had a deep discussion with Membo and asked him if he'd play guard, and he said yes.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that they're going to do that. So,
well, just real quick before we move on, have you heard them say Membao? Because I've heard Membu, and I'm just asking because I don't know. I'm just asking because I don't know because I know that later on.
I don't know. I've never actually Googled it. Like that's how I had to do with Sam O's last name Okinawa. I had to do that with his.
Well, but Purdue has a player MBOW, and I think it's Membao. And so that's why I want to know, which is how to say.
Yeah, this guy's Membu then since the other guy's Membao.
Just make him Membu.
So who are we drafting here? Because it's either going to be Campbell or Membu.
I'm with Campbell. You're with Campbell. John Jay, what do you think?
I'm going with, if the reports are saying Membu, but Campbell, I would go with Campbell because he's the higher ranked player.
And it also seems like I don't know why, but people think he's like a pro in this league, whether he's amazing or not. They expect him to play in the league for like a long time. So that's a good thing.
That's done. So here's Dallas,
like
running
McGlinchey.
back, D-line, DT, linebacker.
Wow. Okay.
So I think they're going to be idiots and they're going to take Shamir Stewart right here. I don't know. How about you guys?
So running back, offensive line, and wide receiver. Is that what they got? Yeah, pretty much.
So what do you think though? Are they going to, take Shamir Stewart and?
Oh man, I'm telling you, if it's me, I'm gonna go Luther Burden III. That's just me. Because I know it doesn't say wide receiver up there, but I mean they don't have any wide receivers beyond CeeDee Lamb. They just signed Turpin, which was that dude who returned the punt. Remember, he picked up the ball and spun around real quick and ran it back like 90 yards. I don't know if you guys remember that play, but he's a really explosive player. And right now they just have CD and him. So what's CD gonna do if he doesn't have anybody to help him? And I mean, Luther Burden III is a very versatile wide receiver. He does a lot of things, and I think you can put him in any slot, in the slot, on the outside, anywhere.
Well, let's look at him real quick. 6 foot, 4'4".
Remember, he's not going to be the number one wide receiver because that's CD. And so your number 2, Luther Burden, sounds good to me. Whoever, Dak's going to be back. He's going to like that. That kind of rhymes.
What do you think, John Jay? What do the Cow Patties do right here?
All right, so if my information is correct, which I think it is, in this Cowboys fan, also a Georgia Bulldog fan, that they are planning to look at edge rusher because they don't know what's going to happen with Micah Parsons.
Okay, that's a good
Are they going to give him a lot of money? Are they going to trade him? And so, just like, and again, like the Bill Belichick philosophy, if you're able to get younger and better and not pay them after their 5th year, you go for James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. And so we don't know what's going to happen in that situation. I don't know if he was given a contract this offseason. Again, I don't follow the Cowboys because, screw the Cowboys. No disrespect to Alex. He's a good dude. But go after a possible replacement. I know the wide receiver makes a lot of sense because you said it. But does Michael Parsons want to be there? That's another question. We don't know.
A great question. And I know that he wants as much as Myles Garrett got because why not?
Yeah, and Myles Garrett got so maybe, I'm younger, I'm better. Give me more.
Oh, wait, you guys haven't seen this? Tyreek Hill has been contacting Micah Parsons. They've been talking. So Tyreek Hill is trying to bring Micah Parsons to the Dolphins. That's the last thing I heard.
All right, well, we're gonna go with Pierce because I know they lost DeMarcus Dexter Lawrence?
They did.
Yeah. They did. So yeah. I'm going with Pierce here. Now we're on to Miami. And honestly, I think this is where Banks goes off the board.
Or Mimbu. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree. So what do you guys think? Do they need a left tackle or a right tackle more? That's the question, right? Because Mimbu is a right tackle. Kelvin Banks is a left tackle. Now, are they going to play there in the NFL? I have no idea. But I don't know enough about the Dolphins roster to know who's on left tackle and right tackle. But maybe they need one more than the other, and that's who we should pick.
Yeah, they're for sure taking the best offensive tackle. And again, I worry about Tua because he's had a bunch of concussions in 3 years. And for whatever the reason, like he says he's fine. And so if he wants to play, you got to protect him. And so you get the best offensive tackle, which is Banks.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's what they got. So here we're at the Colts. They got corner, tight end, and linebacker. What do you got, Kenny?
Yeah, they would have liked to have Warren fall to them, I think. But I'm going to go Jahdae Barron, cornerback, Indianapolis Colts. Big time steal, great value pick right there. I mean, I love that pick. I know he's ranked 15th, but I still think that he is a really good cornerback. And to get him is fantastic.
So, John Jay, what do you got here, buddy?
All right, so the Indianapolis Colts. I think around this point, a lot of players have been picked, and so a lot of draft boards start to change. They could take, the easy one, the cornerback from Texas. They can take the wide receiver from Missouri. They need quarterback help. They need tight end help, and so if cornerback is the need, like the most important, that's the best available player on the board. Again, I don't know a lot about the Colts, and so I don't really know a lot. So,
well, here's what I had for Indy real quick, and it's not the same as that. Here, when I did it, I found tight end, guard, and safety. Now, maybe they just added a cornerback. That I don't know that either because I'm only on my iPad. I can't really look it up. But that's the things that I have here: tight end, guard, and safety. So if like somebody like Malachi Starks or somebody like that, safety would probably be the pick. But there's a lot of good players up there, and I see a CB there, and so I go Jahdae Barron. But this is not one of my. I'm not super strong picking for the Colts here. Like the fans wouldn't really want me picking for them. I'll admit that. So now I know
honestly,
I got Colts.
Honestly, so they're trying to figure out their quarterback situation, right?
They are.
And guard is a need, and Mimbao can play guard.
There you go. Yeah, you're absolutely
I think
right.
that's the pick here.
Him or Josh Simmons are very good linemen, and if you need a guard, I'm sure he's going to start there anyway when you move to the NFL, right? So.
Well, that's the thing is I think they already have tackles, so they don't need tackles. They need a guard opposite of their All-Pro. So there you go. There's their guard.
Nice.
Now we're at Atlanta, and this is kind of an interesting saga because they have their young corner, their young quarterback, edge defensive end. It's kind of the same thing. Wide receiver and linebacker.
All right. Hotlanta. I got edge, center, and tight end.
Edge, center, and tight end.
That's what I got.
So this is this where Michael Williams or Shamar Stewart?
Well, Michael Williams,
I
was before that they don't. Atlanta doesn't pick Georgia Bulldogs for some reason, so I wouldn't pick him. But I also wouldn't pick him because he's only really had 1 year starting, I believe. Michael Williams.
Well, remember, we're just picking the best. Like right now, I think Shamar Stewart is what they go with.
Shamar Stewart, I think.
What do you think, John Jay?
They need that.
Yeah. Basically, I was really like my draft crush quarterback last year was Michael Penix. Maybe I'm just biased, but they have their quarterback for the next couple of years. Hopefully, he does pan out, and so. Because he's a left-hander, if they do go offensive line, his weak side is right tackle. So if they go there now, edge is an important need for them, and defensive end also. And so on the defensive side of the ball, I think they go defense. Because on the offense, they got Drake London, Michael Pitts is there. They got some weapons and the running back. So
Bijan.
Yeah. So offense is not a priority in Atlanta. It's defense.
I agree. Now, edge. I like edge. And I think they're going to look at a tight end. I think they may think about trading Kyle Pitts. I know that sounds weird, but I think that's very possible that they could do that. I know that's weird.
Kyle Pitts, I don't know. He hasn't panned out for that high draft pick they took him. I'll say that. All right, we're going with Shamar Stewart because they don't draft Bulldogs for whatever reason. Now we're at the Arizona Cardinals.
I don't know why. They might be a good
Cardinals. O-line, D-line, linebacker, offensive tackle. Is this where Josh Simmons comes off the board?
AZ. I'm going Jahdae. Again, Barron's just sitting up there waiting to be taken. I would take Barron. They need a cornerback. I don't know why it doesn't say they need a cornerback. I promise you they need a cornerback.
Yeah.
You know what? I think they'd be an idiot not to take him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Now we got the Bengals, and they just inked T. Higgins to a contract extension.
They did.
Currently working on Jamar Chase, so wide receiver. I don't think wide receiver is a big need for them.
Absolutely not. I think they got the only 2 wide receivers you need. So
they drafted a tackle last year, although I don't know how good Mims is.
For Cincy, I like edge. Edge, defensive line, interior offensive line, safety. Any of those is good for them. I feel like Draft Buzz isn't updating their stuff as fast as we would like. That's what I would say about these needs. That's all I'll say.
Well, we got the Bengals, and I mean, honestly, I think they're going defense.
Most definitely, and I don't like Mikael Williams, and I'm sorry, don't really like Walter Nolan. If you like Walter Nolan, that's fine. I'm not going to give you too much shit about it. I just don't like the guy personally. I would go Nick Emenwari. I'm not passing up on Emenwari. I know they need a safety. I don't know why it doesn't say that up there. Cincinnati needs an edge, an interior offensive lineman, and a safety. Last time I checked, which was yesterday. And I think that I would go, and I think, wouldn't you guys take Emenwari? He's the best player I could see right now, unless it's Grant. Now, that's another thing. So Cincinnati needs an edge, but he's not an edge. But he sure is a devastating interior defensive lineman, and I think that's something that they could use also. He is a force in the middle, and I think that the Bengals can use that. Look at that, DT. Yeah, what am I saying? My pick is Kenneth Grant. I'm sorry, guys.
So you're going with Kenneth Grant.
Yeah.
We also got Walter Nolan up here.
Yeah,
you're not high on him, but that don't mean they're not, right?
Look, here's the thing. I heard this. I read it too. But I don't know because I wasn't there, okay? But just what I saw and I read is that he's got character concerns since high school, also at Texas A&M before he went to the Rebels, and then at Ole Miss as well. And from what I also read, he's off some NFL teams' draft boards altogether because of character concerns. And we're a team that doesn't F with character concerns. There's got to be other ones out there. But somebody will probably get a very good first-round talent in Walter Nolan. I'm sure probably like the Eagles or Kansas City, since they don't care about your off-field issues.
Yeah, they don't care about your character issues.
Do not care. That's why they were both
they're going to draft you.
Why they were both in the Super Bowl. They took all the gladiators from the Coliseum and put them on one team.
So yeah, I mean, I could see these guys taking Kenneth Grant or Mikael Williams.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Williams, but that doesn't mean he's not a good player. I'm going.
What do you think, John Jay? What do you think?
Yeah, so when it comes to the Bengals, everyone knows they don't really like to pay players, and so the wide receiver room is basically taken care of because I think they also franchise tag again Higgins.
Yeah. Oh no, they did, but then they re-signed him, John Jay. So they tagged him, but then
they signed him to a contract extension that is like 4 years and could be up to $121.8 million if he hits all his incentives.
So so Jamar Chase is there, so they don't need receivers. Joe Burrow, to protect him, he needs all the offensive line help. Josh Simmons is there, but the edge rusher, is he still on the team? Because some people say what's his name? Trey Hendricks.
Yeah, Hendricks is still there, but I believe that we could still be making a move for him. I know that sounds crazy, but I think
so. Because he is an edge rusher, you guys mentioned Malik Williams has some issues, and so I know most teams do not care about character issues unless you.
No. I'm sorry, John Jay. Walter Nolan. I can't confirm this, bro, because I'm just here. This is hearsay. I'm just hearing this from other people that Nolan has concerns. Mikael Williams, the concern is that he only started 1 year, I believe. Yeah. That's what it is.
And so you want your players to have multiple years playing. So
you want them to be pro ready.
And so if they are not something that you need, then you go to the next position. What is their other position that they need? They
need defensive interior, and so that's why I like Grant.
And so I'll go with your take, because again you've been doing more of this draft stuff.
Too much.
So if that's what they really need, the interior, then interior could be an option.
honestly, they're not saying it up there that they need a safety, but I'm pretty sure that they need a safety as well. And so if I'm in Cincy's draft room, it's between Emanwari and Grant, 100% for me. What do you think, David?
I think Grant will drastically help them.
Can you imagine? With Hendrickson, if he stays there, that's nasty.
Well, that's all yet to be seen, but their owner's kind of an asshole, so I don't think he's going anywhere. We'll go Grant right here. Now it's the Sea Chickens.
And boo. Sorry.
And honestly, I think this is where Burden the Third comes off the board. Because they do have the Cup, but the Cup's just an old worn out slot receiver. You got Smith and Jigba, and who else? You got Bobo. Yeah, I honestly think they take the wide receiver off the board here, Luther Burden the Third. What do you guys think?
To the Seattle Seahawks?
Yes.
Let's see.
They just cut Lockett. They just traded DK Metcalf.
Yeah. They also are very much in need of interior offensive line, but Luther Burden III is incredible. You put him or Ngbuka, which I know you know also, one of those guys there with Njigba, and I think you got a nice little tandem for Sam Darnold to throw to, because remember, Sam Darnold was great, but he also had Jay Jettas and Jordan Addison. And so if he has Njigba,
tight end, guard, linebacker, QB, as QB is the need. Yeah, probably because they signed Sam Darnold. They probably just left that there. What do you think, John Jay? You think Luther Burden III is the pick here?
So, with all due respect to Joe Stevens, he's a good dude, great guy. He just roots for a team I do not like. But if I had to pick for them, if I had no other choice to help that team, they just got a quarterback. So quarterback is not important. But you got to protect that quarterback. They paid a lot of money for that guy. And guard is a position to protect that quarterback. I don't know their wide receiver situation. There's a lot of needs over there. Yeah. You mentioned, I forget, Cooper Kupp is over there, but as mentioned, he's not young Cooper Kupp. So wide receiver, tight end, So
yeah, I would go offensive line as well. I'm actually John Jay changed my mind. I'm going to take Josh Simmons, offensive tackle. I know that he's not an interior offensive lineman, but he's a very, very good offensive lineman, and he can play inside.
But
Grace Abel,
this guy's going to be. They have him listed as a tackle, but due to his,
if you look at Grace Abel, his span is
being 77 and 5/8, he's going to be.
Grace Abel's span, his arms and his hands are super duper tiny, like the tiniest in the draft. It's really bad. So he's
that's literally an alligator right there.
He's like a career swing tackle, if you ask me.
All right, then the Seahawks get a.
I like it.
They don't get Luther Burden III. Still, he's falling, guys. Like, what up?
Hey, sounds like somebody we never know.
So Tampa Bay, they got an aging Mike Evans. You got Chris Godwin, who they just re-signed. It says edge, tight end, corner, QB. And why does it say edge? I mean, they do have Yaya Dabby starting on one end. I don't know who their edge is on the other end.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Mike Evans is getting older. He's been in the league since, I think, 2014. So, he's entering, I think, season 12. And so if Luther Burden III, again, you do got to get some young wide receivers.
Well, remember, just so you know, they have Jalen McMillan, who was a rookie last year and was incredible. So they do have 3 wide receivers, because I don't know if you know, Mike Godwin re-signed and took a $20 million pay cut to stay in Tampa. They have Evans, Godwin, and Jalen McMillan.
Okay, so all right. So with that information, wide receiver is not important. I don't know their edge situation. I don't know their corner situation. I don't know their tight end, but those are the positions that says is there. Tampa, they have Todd Bowles, and he's very heavy on the defense.
That's the guy I'm looking at too,
So,
David. I'm gonna go Jalen Walker. That's my pick. What do you guys think?
the linebacker.
Yeah, because he plays edge also, and he just won the Butkus Award for linebacker, but everyone says he's a better edge. And then you got people who say he's just a jack of all trades and not a master of any. But in my opinion, I think Tampa can work with it. I think Tampa can work with him. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Jalen Walker is a very good pick for Tampa. I could be wrong.
So if you're drafting a linebacker who's also an edge, you're basically getting two solid positions there. I'm not sure about their tight end. I mean, their linebackers. Again, I don't follow a lot of these teams, and so if that's who you feel, I'm going to go with your, insights.
Well, only because they say, look, I love Jalen Walker, but he's got his criticisms too. Jalen Walker, they say, doesn't have the instincts to play linebacker, and so if they want an edge in Tampa, and even though Jalen Walker's undersized, he's a physical freak. He's just out athletes people. And so I think that's a good pass rusher to have for Tampa. That's all I'll say. It's definitely not.
So then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers draft Jalen Walker because I agree with that.
I feel like he's the best guy out there.
I think he fits their defense. And I think now I was talking about Luther Burden III. This is where he goes, guys. Because I mean, they got Bo Nix, wide receiver room. Who do they have? An aging,
I would think wide receiver for the Broncos.
Yeah, because I don't know their wide receivers.
I think 100%. This is a no-brainer. Luther Burden III is a Bronco.
People are going to say also another pick could have been Colston Loveland, but I don't think if Luther Burden is there, I don't think you can pass up on him. And they just signed. What's his name? Evan Engram to go.
Yeah.
Can I suggest something non-draft related?
Of course.
I know you have that great podcast with your great co-host.
I'm just part of a great show. I'm the worst part of that show.
I know YTC, loves doing collaborations, and he's a guy from your neck of the woods. Would you ever consider having him like a non-sports guest
on YTC on the podcast that I do?
Yeah,
I would love to have him on as a Giants guy because David Dale, the guy that we have on our show, he's a Giants guy too. So I would love to have YTC on.
I know that'd be really fun, like some East Coast dudes.
If we ever have a Giants, because we've had a lot of we have Hall of Famers on the show. We've had ex-football players on the show, Super Bowl winners. And if there's ever a Giants guy, I won't be on the show so that YTC can be on the show with those guys. Mm-hmm. He could meet that guy.
Is Chad Schrader? Chad Schrader's our resident Steelers fan. Is he still in the building?
Yeah, Chad's a Steelers fan.
Dad, if you're still in the chat, write something.
I haven't seen him chat in a while. Hey, CG, we missed CG altogether. I didn't even see him.
I know. Yeah, sorry for
CG. Those. Yeah, he was up in here. Sorry,
I totally missed that. Sorry, I have my phone and my iPad, but it's not really easy. I can't see anything on the phone. I can't do anything on the iPad.
So the Steelers. I mean, it says needs offensive tackle, which they actually drafted a guy last year. I think they drafted 2 offensive linemen last year.
OTLB wide receiver.
Let's see. So I know
just traded for DK Metcalf, so cross wide receiver off.
Yeah, so
there you go. All right, so I was just gonna say that's not right.
I know a Steelers fan who very, very he's tough on his team, to say the least. I don't know who their quarterback is because I know Justin Fields left. I don't know where Russell Wilson is. And I know it doesn't say quarterback. What if this is a possibility that Dart, if he's still on the board, because they do need a quarterback, because I don't know if Russell Wilson's returning yet, because I don't even think they signed him yet.
Well, whether they did or not, I'm with you. I think Dart is the pick here. I know that's crazy, but I think they need quarterback, running back, cornerback, defensive tackle.
So, and then,
yeah, I like Dart here as well. I think it's a great pick.
Yep.
I think that's it.
Jackson
And
Dart.
now we're at the San Diego Chargers. We got the Bolts, defensive tackle. Hey, you know Jim Harbaugh don't worry about character concerns. He drafted Alden Smith.
Yeah, he'll take
you know
the best.
Yeah, but look who's up there. A guy with a big M. Colston Loveland, tight end. He's taken him. That's my pick. They need one. Colston Loveland is my pick.
Yep.
I honestly think the Chargers go with Walter Nolan right here, buddy, because like I said, he don't care about character concerns. He wants a player.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but remember, their defense was really good last year. And Herbert, the more weapons you give Herbert, he had one wide receiver last year. Think about it. He had one wide receiver last year, and he had nobody else. J.K. Dobbins got hurt, and they just couldn't do anything. And then that's when they went down. So my pick is obviously the Michigan guy. They need a tight end, but it's also a Michigan guy. So 2 out of 3, I'm gonna go with Colston.
All right, I still say, I don't think Walter Nolan will fall this far, even with his character.
I know.
I think Nolan. Yeah, maybe you're right. I think he goes to the Eagles or the Chiefs, but that's just me. But you're probably right.
If you guys remember when we had Harbaugh with the Niners, we had Delaney Walker and we had Vernon Davis. So the tight end with the system that he runs makes a lot of sense. That's a good outside the box thinking.
I also don't know if Mikael Williams will fall this far either, because teams reach for guys. But here we are. We're at Green Bay. It's saying both of them are saying offensive guard, which they just signed a guy for $77 million.
Right. I have wide receiver, cornerback, and edge. Wide receiver, cornerback, and edge.
Because I think they lost their corner, or I don't know if I read.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they lost him yet, but I think he's on the move. So he's
on the market.
Sander is still a Green Bay Packer, but I think
the Packers are also one of those teams that rarely pay, free agents. And so even if he's still there, they could the same situation. They could get an emergency guy in case he does leave. So the cornerback from East Carolina, that's what I would do, but we don't know what they'll do.
Oh man, he's really good. The only reason he's where he is on the rankings is because he got hurt. But I would put him very close to Jahdae Barron for the best cornerback. I mean, I guess unless you're counting Travis Hunter.
I mean, they got a wide receiver room already. There's a safety sitting right there. There's an edge sitting right there. I mean, their corner is. I mean, I don't think they've traded him yet.
If they need
he is on the market.
If they need an edge and Mikael Williams falls that far, I think they might take him. So,
I think so too. What do you think, John Jay?
For the Packers,
he's got a G. He has to have a G on his helmet, and now he can have another G on his helmet.
Again, I want to go. Again, the Packers are those teams that they rarely play, just like the Bengals. And so, even if he's there, or if he's gone, I would basically try to replace him, and I'll go with the East Carolina. They did. You're right. They did get offensive line with our player, and so that's what I would do.
Did they pay? They're the ones who paid Banks, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, they paid Banks.
Yeah, they paid Banks
$77 million.
They overpaid for Banks because he was not worth that.
Wow.
Now,
all right. So they're getting the corner then.
I don't know why he's worth that much money. Maybe that's what they value him. But when he was with us, I wouldn't say he was awful. But the money, wow.
So here we are. We're at the Viking. I mean the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And it says guard, corner, and running back. What do you think about that, Kenny?
I have safety, cornerback, and interior defensive line, and my pick is probably going to be Nick Emanwari, and that's going to be disgusting because I don't remember the guy's name, but the safety that was there last year is a huge downgrade from Nick Emanwari, in my opinion. So that's going to be huge for their defense. Wanting the Vikings to be better. Wow.
Well, keep in mind they have that young quarterback coming in too.
Yeah, so, JJ McCarthy.
So I could see them going like an offensive lineman right here.
Yep.
But what do you think, John Jay?
So McCarthy is coming off of a
They
very
signed
bad.
a lot of guys on the offensive line, Jeff. Also,
I know, like he's just coming off of serious, like, ankle injury. I think it was an Achilles that kept him off for the whole year. And so we don't know what he, is. I've heard a lot of Michigan fans say, that they need to put respect on his name. Until I see it, I will still have a little bit of concerns. Offensive line, protect that young kid. He already had an injury on his ankle, so they have weapons. They have position players. So offensive line makes a lot of sense.
And they have there's a guard sitting right here. They're listed as a tackle because his span.
Yeah, he's a guard.
His arms.
He's a guard or like a swing tackle once in a while.
This guy's going to be a guard in the NFL. There's no way he's going to be able to play tackle with that.
His broad is nice, so he's got a nice jump off, and I wish they would show the bench press, which they're not doing.
He verticaled 36.5. That's pretty good, but at the same time, how often do you see an offensive lineman jumping at things? Come on.
Rarely.
I honestly think Greg Zabel's the pick here. Kenny, what do you think?
I mean, he looks like a Green Bay Packer, right? Look at him. He's already wearing the color.
Well, this is the Vikings.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, and he plays right next to Minnesota.
Well, listen, like I said, I don't know. This is just what from the free agents that these people all have signed. What I got from Minnesota was safety, cornerback, interior defensive line. I've got nothing about a guard. I'm assuming they signed somebody, and that's why.
Maybe.
Running back
interior
is also
defensive
something.
Line.
Running back is also something that but I don't think they can get a running back right now. So safety, cornerback, interior defensive line. So Walter Nolan is absolutely someone, I guess, that could go there. Malachi Starks and Nick Emenwari. I would pick Emenwari only because I think he's the best player I see. But that's just my opinion.
I'm sticking with offensive line. That's what I would go.
Yeah, if you guys are both offensive line, go for it. Yeah.
I'm gonna make the North Dakota State kid a Minnesota Viking. And here we are. We're at the freaking Houston Texans. This is D'Amico Ryans.
Texans definitely need O-line. I don't think there's anything else that they really need to think about.
Oh, my God, they do. You're not lying.
Offensive tackle, interior offensive line, and wide receiver is what I have for them.
They just traded their offensive tackle away. For whatever reason. I have no idea why. Here we go. West Virginia. He's big. He's slow. His arms and his span aren't that great.
I like him. I just don't like him in the first round, if that's what I'll say about him. And we're doing
This guy's from Seattle? Wow.
Yeah, he went to Oregon.
His span's okay. His arms are pretty good.
So that's good. Zabel's was 77.
I know.
That's why
he's got 4 inches. That's about that much more wingspan there.
4 inches is some. That's all some guys have, man. I mean, yikes.
I just do not see these guys passing up on taking an offensive lineman right here. Although, look at Tyler Booker. Dang, he's a big boy, ain't he?
I'm going to say Tyler Booker.
Slow.
Don't care where he's ranked. I think he's perfect. Where did he go to college? Alabama? Yeah, I think
arms 34.5. He's got like that. That's offensive tackle arms.
Or is it Ohio State?
He's not very athletic. Went to Alabama.
I feel like Alabama, Houston makes sense to me. What do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, you're reaching there as far as the rankings go, but I like Booker to Texans.
I'm honestly going to go Booker to the Texans because they need offensive line.
I know, because I think YTC says that they lost an offensive line player. in the chat.
Damn, I wish the
They
chat.
traded Tunsil and Green.
Hey, Juice is here.
Wow.
What's up, Juice?
Crazy Juice, what's up, buddy?
You know, how do you? I don't know how you do this, but some people have like the chat in the show. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how they do that, but you can like put the chat running like through the right side there that says Team Console, and it would be like going up there. Doesn't Levi do that?
Well,
I can't remember.
Well, the StreamYard has the private chat and the regular comments, so that's why I'm able to see.
I can see the comments on my pad over here, buddy. But
what I want is the comments from the chat to be on
it's
the screen.
OBS. It's OBS. It's the software. That's what YTC just said.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I want.
So here we are, though. We're at the LA Rams. All right. So, okay, what kicker are we taking right here?
Oh wow.
Oh,
the worst one.
you guys hear my joke?
Let's give the Rams the worst pick.
I mean, the Rams. It says offensive tackle, linebacker, edge.
Let's give
cornerback, linebacker, offensive tackle.
Let's give that player that's at the board a bad player to the Rams, because
the Rams need a cornerback. That's what I would do. But if we want to sabotage them, that's fine.
Dude, there is no. There is. I mean, you're talking corner. You're like dropping down to 50 here.
Yeah, no. So not.
Or no, 42.
How about a linebacker or offensive tackle then?
Linebacker Jahad Campbell, which I think is actually better than that.
Listen, I'm sorry, but they're taking Jahad Campbell. Let's not be crazy. They're going to take Jahad Campbell if they can. Obviously, I think that's the pick. But if you want to look
now we're at the Ravens.
There you go. Yeah, come on.
Shout out to Levi. We're taking a kicker right here for you.
You know what's
fun?
Wayne Brady, Jesus. Wayne Breezy. Sorry, Wayne. Wayne Breezy's been doing tons of mock drafts, and I think I just saw the Rams take Jahad Campbell in his draft too. Makes sense. I mean,
so I'm actually gonna take Emin Worry right here because that's
what Levi wants.
That's something. What?
That's what Levi wants too. So that's probably the pick.
That's exactly it. That's why I'm taking him right there. Now we're at the Lions. It says center, edge, guard, wide receiver.
Oof. Yeah, Detroit is another team I'm just not like. I don't know shit about Detroit or Indianapolis. I'll tell you right now. They're just two teams I don't ever like cross-reference or like ever associate anything with for some reason. But Detroit edge, offensive linebacker, and cornerback is what I have.
Okay, well, this is where Mike
Yeah, you know what?
Williams.
I think you're right.
I think this is where he goes off the board. What do you think, John Jay?
Yeah, I agree.
He's got to go sometime. Yeah, fine.
Now we're at the Commanders, and this is Adam Peters here.
Yeah, it is.
And Mr. YTC's in the chat. I know he's a huge fan of the Command. I'm just joking, YTC. I'm sorry.
Well, I have almost the same thing. I have wide receiver, edge, and cornerback.
Wide receiver, edge, and corner, huh?
Even though they
just traded for Debo and they have Scary Terry
and McLaurin. Yes, sir. Yeah, but they're gonna need another one. But I'm not saying it's the top pick. I'm just saying they also need a wide receiver. I'm not saying it's the top priority.
YTC says Washington taking Nolan.
Edge or cornerback is what I think.
So YTC.
I'm going to say they go Mike Green because their defense was horrible. The Eagles pissed and peed and
he's a boomer bust. Hold on a second.
Them and sneezed.
Remember, Adam Peters is big time on boom and bust. He wants that guy that has the boom.
I'm going Mike.
But typically they bust. Like shout out to 2020 through 2023 drafts.
I don't mean to stop the draft. Corona has a question for David McNider.
Oh, good. Let's go. What's up, David? I mean, what's up, Crown Town?
Yeah, I can't. Give me a minute, Corona.
Yeah, bro. I feel like
they're taking Mike Green because he's the biggest boomer bust guy I see here because that's how Adam Peters is.
Perfect.
Buffalo. Ooh. What does Buffalo need?
A wide receiver. Emeka Mbuka is my pick. Wide receiver. All right, now it's your turn.
I have to agree with that.
So, I don't know the Buffalo situation. Again, these are the teams I don't know. If you guys both agree with the wide receivers,
I'm just kidding, John Jay.
You guys.
Yeah, no, it's not that they couldn't use one because they can. They can always use a wide receiver. But I just think that they already did Khalil Shakir. They already signed him, right? And they also have someone else there. I just can't remember who it is. I don't think that's going to be the top priority for them. I think for them, the priority is going to be edge, defensive tackle, or cornerback.
So they said cornerback, wide receiver, defensive line, safety.
Yeah. Maybe cornerback. What do you guys think?
So here's a wide receiver and a safety. Here's the defensive lineman, 2 defensive linemen, an edge.
You know what? I'll be honest again. Buffalo, another team I just got to learn more about, to be honest.
So
I'm going to go Walter Nolan then. That's what I say.
Yeah, I'm going to go with best available.
Yeah, if Walter Nolan is still there, I think that they would take him. That's what I would say. They need a DT, an edge, and a cornerback, from what I understand. And so if Walter Nolan is still there at pick 30, don't you think he's going to go? Or if he's not already gone?
Yeah. There it is. Now we're to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
They have Rashid Rice coming back. I think they brought back Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
What
we got here?
I mean, offensive tackle. They just signed Jalen Moore, our guy.
Yeah, but they will take another one. I'm not saying it's going to be now, but they will definitely take another tackle. I have them taking tackle, defensive tackle, or edge.
Well,
so
why would they take
Nick,
a defensive? I mean, they still have Chris Jones.
Yeah, they do.
They just lost their safety though, didn't they?
Well,
did Reed re-sign with them?
I'm not 100% sure. I'll look him up if you want.
I can't remember his first name, but they snagged him from the Texans a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
YTC says Chiefs are going O-line.
Yeah, that's what I would think, O-line.
I know because they paid a lot of money to one of our tackles that wasn't.
I'm guessing it's one of those two guys, or Connerly. I mean, there could be other people, but right now at this point, it's probably going to be one of those guys. I know we're pretty much going best available for the most part a lot of times, but I mean, that's really how it should be, isn't it? I can't have people reaching 20 picks because you need a linebacker. Like, I just don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get the best player, the best athlete that you can. Even though, you watch a lot of drafts and people like, it's the 10th pick and they're taking a guy who's ranked 42. Like, you can do that. You can go out of there and make your picks and make your stances on that stuff. But like, I think
they're going to take Millen right here, even though he's kind of like remember, we just looked at his arms and his span, right?
Yeah.
And his span 79 and 5/8. His arms 32 and 1/8. He's a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is. Interior. Well, here's what they think. They're moving Kinsley Sumatea to left guard, so they don't need interior offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They need an outside linebacker, and that's a left tackle from what I understand.
Well, that's why they signed
what about
Jalen Moore.
You think Irsay is a reach for them at 46? I mean, maybe Connerly. I believe Connerly. I think he's a right tackle, though, isn't he?
Yeah, well, that's what they need because they signed Jalen Moore and he was a left tackle. Remember,
if they're going to start Jalen Moore, I would love to see that. But yeah, go for Connerly if he's a right tackle, and if they really plan to start Jalen Moore on left tackle, then yeah, that's the pick.
And now we're at the Eagles. Where's Spongy? Oh, there's Corona.
Find the meanest player. Find the meanest player. That's what they'll take.
What's
Spongy.
up, guys?
Yeah,
what's up, buddy?
Sorry for the way we're having.
Yeah, where's Spongy at? Spongy's actually at a dance, and I told him not to spike the punch.
Oh. He's at a rec.
So I don't know.
Rec center.
Oh, you know what he has? He has that watch, and you could drink it out of.
Oh.
You know that watch?
Yes.
No.
All right, so the Eagles have had a mass exodus on defense.
Yeah. Philadelphia.
Hey, John Jay. After we finish, I need to talk to you about some baseball.
Okay.
I got wide
with interior defensive line and cornerback.
Yeah.
I don't think they take interior defensive line because they already. They have Carter. I think they have another guy. They had like quite the rotation going on. One of them got lost.
What do you think about
free agency? They lost Josh Sweat. Brandon Graham's probably retiring. That's two of their edges.
Yeah, but they replaced them. They signed like 4 people on defense. I don't think they need. I think they need interior defensive line.
Hey, did you guys hear Ricky What's switching his number?
Who?
I saw something about
Pierce?
that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pearsall. He's going to number 1 now.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
He took Debo's number.
Debo's number.
Hey, it's better that number instead of 14 because every number who has 14, they get injured, right?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, look what happened to Jalen Hurts when he used to be on our team, remember? When his back,
I tried to.
He only played 1 game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He had number 14.
Yeah, dude, you were right. Harmon, David Harmon was a great pick.
Well, that was the only pick right there.
If it's interior defensive line, then that was the best guy, I think.
So, Corona, you were saying something about baseball?
What happened?
Yeah. Hey, McNiner, do you mind if I ask him a question real quick about that?
Go for it.
Hey, so if it's a kid on third base, right, and the ball if the ball goes behind the catcher and the kid fell on the floor and the coach picked him up, is that an out?
So there was a kid at third, a foul ball, and
pass ball.
Oh, it was a pass ball, and then the kid ran home.
Yeah, he's coming home, but he tripped and fell, and the coach like kind of picked him up.
Like after the play ended or during the play?
No, during the play.
Oh yeah, you can't.
That's interference.
Yeah, you can't interfere with the game.
You can't do that. Let
That's
the
so
play
weird.
finish.
Yeah, I made a bad call.
No
Hey
worries.
guys, real quick, that reminds me of a joke. Can I tell you a joke?
Yep.
Okay, what's Donald Trump's favorite position?
All right, thank you, McNiner.
Hey, no problem.
What is
What do you guys think that Donald Trump's favorite position is in baseball?
I don't care.
Catcher.
No, it's third base coach because he's in charge of sending Latinos home.
Oh wow.
Fuck.
Oh, crazy.
Go!
Wow.
Oh damn.
Fucking
love
wow.
We're about to be
Whenever-
canceled like
Whenever
DST
I could
is.
be third base coach, I loved it.
Oh man, it's festive.
That's funny.
In the words of
Crazy.
DST, we're about to be canceled.
Oh man, no, we're gonna get like drones gonna be floating over our house.
Oh man.
That was a lighthearted joke though. I didn't even get into politics.
I like this, like going all 32 teams talking it out.
Yeah, I think it's a good because it's good to know, right? Where our competition.
Hey, what do you guys think of Jameis Winston going to the Giants?
I love it.
XYTC, he's in the chat.
I love it.
Hey, YTC, what do you think about that?
Apparently, New York needs to be careful because their crap population is about to drop.
Oh no.
All right. Who we now? I got the 49ers on draft here.
All right, yeah, let's do the Niners.
You know what? Give me Buffalo. Give me
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Who do you want, Kenny?
Who's doing the Niners?
McNiner.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang back and see what McNiner does. What I don't think.
well, I'm gonna. I don't have to do. I could just run the draft. So, I mean,
Yeah, we
one
just
of
do-
the,
we
like,
just
like
do
the
that
last
then.
show before the draft. Yeah, I'll probably take the reins at that point. But
let John Jay do it. Be the Niners.
So I actually want to draft for a team.
Okay,
So
I'll do the Niners.
who
If
do
nobody
you
else.
want to draft for, John Jay?
So currently, you want to pick the Buffalo. Let's see. Let me look at. I'm gonna go for Houston because D'Amico's over there.
I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about that one too.
All right, Kenny, so you're drafting for the 49ers?
Sure, unless you want to.
You're good.
Okay.
Sweet. Now we only got 3 teams going on. And it's still going to be. How many picks do you guys have? How brutal is this going to be?
I don't know, but I hope that we did a good job because us picking for other teams, like we don't really know. You know what I mean? I mean, like
Yeah, exactly. I don't know these guys.
I mean, I can make guesses, but
Houston.
We got a lot of picks.
A lot of picks.
I'm only
Yeah,
making
that's
guesses on things that I hear other people.
That's
say.
not too much with Houston. I know the
The
Niners
49ers, we got, I
lot
mean,
of 3-day picks.
We got a lot of picks.
Yeah, we got 11, but I'll bust through those picks quick at the end. Trust me.
we don't have
I
a
know
6th
you-
rounder.
I know way
So-
too many draft prospects, dude.
Yeah, we do not have a 6 rounders, but it is what it is.
Oh, rest for us.
I thought we got a 6th round. I thought we got a 6th round.
49ers because I have it on lightning speed.
Oh, nice.
All right,
I
Kenny.
thought we got a.
So the
I thought we got a
Rams
6th.
are trying to trade us, but let's be honest, that's not gonna fucking happen.
No, that's not gonna.
Oh hell no!
Okay,
so
but
the Colts
see,
are.
that
What, they
was-
just got him listed as OG, offensive guard.
that's just great. He's just a random guy that they put OG.
Just a
on.
random guy plays guard.
No, that's his name. OG. That's his first and last name. Yeah, you know what? I would have done that trade because I do want to move to 14. That's like 100% what I want to do, but not what they offered now.
What are they offering? Oh,
Yeah,
if they
it's
offered something
next
else
year.
this year, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Even though, listen, that's a great
27,
that's a-
91, and 136.
overall for the Niners. That'd be a great move, but I don't want to do it today.
This would be a great trade to get draft capital and get some more next year too, but
Yeah, but now I'm just getting way more picks, and I already have 11.
all right, buddy.
All right, I'm gonna go.
So here we
Kelvin
are.
I'm going Kelvin.
And
Beck.
look, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. There's Shamar Stewart, James Pierce.
Wow. James Pierce and Stewart. That would be incredible.
Sounders fell to the Raiders, and
Yeah.
they have the Raiders taken
I
them.
could see that happen.
Oh damn!
So
Mason-
Will Johnson, Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, and Abdul Carter to the Titans, huh?
You see how they still took a cornerback though, New England. So that's good to know. That's kind of cool. I mean, even though Hunter was gone, they still went Will Johnson. That's nuts.
And the Bears
They
still
really-
took Genty. We did that, right?
Yeah, we did Genty to the Bears, didn't we? Or was that before? We went
Yes, we did do Genty to the Bears.
Wow. So Cam
Mason
Ward,
Graham to
go
the
first?
Jags. That happens every fucking time.
You tell me Cam Ward is still on the board, or did another team take him?
Oh, he's gone. The
Oh, two.
Browns took him.
You never know what Tennessee's cooking up. There could still be
I
signing. a better-
know. But so what are we doing here, Kenny? What are we
If
looking
it's up
at?
to me, listen. If it's up to me, I'm going to go Kelvin Banks. I haven't done it yet, and so I would like to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a little faith in that guy.
And bam, we're at the Texans.
Reject all
Roderick
trades.
Washington. I doubt
yeah,
they would offer that.
Reject all trades. Yeah.
Kareem Hunt.
No thanks.
Come on,
Okay.
buddy. Like, you know you want him. All right,
Okay.
who do you want, John Jay? What do you want to look
All
at?
right. So running back, offensive line, defensive line, guard. So I see guard and offensive line. I'm going to go offensive line, and I'm going to take the Josh Simmons. Yeah.
They did just trade their tackle away. That only makes sense.
Oh damn!
So now we got Buffalo.
Oh.
They're saying Juju Smith-Schuster. Yeah, right.
Buffalo.
Nah.
What's up? I want to say what's up
Nah.
to Jess. Quickly.
Who's out there?
Jess.
Oh,
Oh,
hey,
what's up, Jess?
oh,
Yes, what's happening? Happy
What's up, Jack?
Saturday. I hope you're drinking very heavily.
it's late. It's late. It's late for Jack.
What do they need? Or
Corner, wide receiver, defensive line, and safety. There's Tyler Warren.
yeah,
Walter
give me that
Nolan,
guy.
look, he fell this far, Kenny.
Told you guys, he's not a top 30 pick, in my opinion. Sorry, just my opinion.
Give me that Penn State guy.
He wants
But we have had
tight
some
end.
wild picks go before him, though. To be honest,
Oh, he's taking the tight end. Now, hold on a second. They have Dalton Kincaid, the tight end already.
And I have Matt Collins too.
Oh, okay. Give me a wide receiver then.
I like that's what I would pick if I was Buffalo, but Buffalo loves collecting.
And there it is right there. This guy.
Yep. Yep. Give me that one.
Buka.
I love that.
Yep.
State.
Air
Yep.
Ravens. That's awesome. That's a great pick, and that's a reach too. Supposed reach.
All right. So 3 trade offers from the Chargers. We got corner Tarheeb Still.
Never heard of that name.
And we're trading back 12 spots and gaining a 3rd rounder. I'm not trading with you guys. You can kiss my. Why are you trying to trade me an offensive guard? He must suck.
You know,
And then
nobody gives away players they like.
And the Bengals are saying move back 5 or 6 spots, and they'll give us Marco Wilson.
I mean, that sounds fun, but not today.
All right.
Another cornerback, I guess. All right, Niners are up, and I took Kelvin Banks. And so right now, I am not Kyle, so obviously this is not going to be the same. But, let's see.
Walter Nolan's chilling, buddy. Look at him. He's looking at you.
Tyler Warren, you mean? Or Walter Nolan? Walter Nolan, 43. Was I right or was I right? Screw that guy. Anyway, dude, listen, if it's round 2, and this is absurd, but I don't know that I could look past Tyler Warren at 43.
You be the genius guy.
Tyler Warren at 43. Another offensive weapon, another offensive blocker, and a wide receiver-ish tight end.
We just signed that guy Farrell. That guy Farrell to like a 3-year deal.
Yeah, he could sit on the bench. We gave Nate Sudfeld $1 billion to just leave. So I don't think it's that big a deal. I'm going Tyler Warren. Dude, we cannot pass up. Tyler Warren and George Kittle for the next 3 years, minimum.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
Look, this is not like the last draft. This is a weirder draft. So I'm going Tyler Warren.
I know, you're good.
Yeah.
So now we're at Buffalo again.
Give me a guard. Do they need one?
There's Donovan Jackson. He's definitely going to be a guard in the NFL.
Yeah, I like Jackson and I like Ray.
Give me that guy.
You know what? I don't know. His arms are long enough to be a tackle.
He can play both.
Can he?
But he's played all over the offensive line, so we'll just take him.
Yeah, just take him.
Got nice
all right, John Jay, we're at the Texans and
project all.
Trade. Okay. All right.
Great.
All right. I drafted. I forgot what I drafted. I think I drafted.
Oh, here.
Oh, gonna get sued.
You drafted Josh Simmons.
I like it.
You could go offensive line again.
I'm gonna go.
This guy? I've never actually seen this guy.
What did they need again?
TJ Sanders.
TJ Smith.
Houston.
I'll take that guy.
They need offensive tackle and they need interior offensive line.
Perfect.
And they need wide receiver. I'm sure they would love a guy on the D line as well, though. They have a great.
They're getting a guy on the D line because that's what John Jay said.
I addressed the needs.
Yeah.
And apparently Buffalo made a trade because here they are again. Are you serious? They got 2 second-round picks?
What the hell?
They have 2 second-round trades. Yeah.
What do they need?
Well, it says corner D line safety edge. You got offensive tackle and wide receiver. Dang, you're just drafting Ohio State. All right, who else is
edge
Look, there's a running back from Ohio State.
Yeah, give me.
Remember, they have James.
Right.
They also have Ray Davis.
Kenny, what are Buffalo's needs? What do you got for Buffalo's needs?
Buffalo's needs are an edge, a defensive tackle, and a cornerback.
I go with cornerback then.
It's a good idea because
there it is, Maxwell Harrison.
Yeah, go with that guy.
I love Harrison.
Makuba looking at me in the face.
Did you say you like Harrison because of his sack?
I like Harrison. Harrison sack.
All right, Kenny. What are we looking at here at pick 75, 49ers?
Okay, can you show me who I've taken real quick? Yeah, thanks.
Oh yeah.
Banks and Warren. I wish. Let's see. Oh man, we need a linebacker, and I know he's right at the top, but I'm sorry if he's there. I'm taking him. Demetrius Knight, linebacker, South Carolina. Let's go. He's ranked 58th, probably less in my opinion, and it's our 75th pick.
Well, 6'2", 235. He's actually got pretty decent size for a Sam.
Yeah. Faster and bigger than we'd like him to be.
Or why am I saying Sam? You know how much I love that. The strong side linebacker.
Strong side.
Hey, who do you guys think would take a Funga spot and Greenlaw?
Sam.
We'll find out.
It's going to be Mustafa or Brown taking Hufanga, and Greenlaw, it's kind of up in the air, but I'm thinking Bethune or Winters at this point.
Yeah, probably a little of both, maybe.
Oh, hell
John Jay, buddy, what do you want to look at? There's picks.
Let me look at the big board to see who's there. Wide receiver, running back, another wide receiver. I'm going to take another guard to protect C.J. Stroud, and I'm going to take the guard from Georgia.
Take Ratledge. Look at this guy. He's got a mullet.
He's got
damn.
He's a no-name.
That's huge.
He looks like he ate his pastor.
Wow. And the Texans are actually on the board again.
Oh,
forget those trades. Like,
got a guard.
Michael's gonna get mad at you, John Jay. Chicago.
Who cares about Chicago? Chicago can go eat something. Let's see. I'm going to draft a linebacker from Clemson, Carter.
Ooh.
Chad.
No, Chad.
Oh.
What's up, Chad? My Laker brother.
They're called
So this guy, 6'0", 231, 4'6", he's pretty fast, 3.5 sacks, so we know he can blitz.
I mean,
wow, his span is pretty nice for what is he, a linebacker?
That means he's going to be able to actually wrap people up because he's going to, he's got wings like a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
So well, there he is.
Very nice.
And we are you, Kenny. Well, our third round compensation pick at 100.
Okay, can I see the center?
This is what you've taken.
Yeah,
what do you want to see?
Center, and I want to look at for now center, please. Oh wow,
Jared Wilson?
Yes,
where does Jake Majors?
Jake Majors is okay. He might be gone already, even though I believe that Jared Wilson is the better center.
Ooh, he slipped.
Experience.
Look, Kenny. This draft board has updated. Look at Jake Majors at 128.
Hey, no disrespect to Jake Majors. I still want Jared Wilson. Even when he was ranked before him, I would have taken Jared Wilson. The thing with Jared Wilson is that he also doesn't have much experience, I believe. So, but he's not going to start his rookie year, so it doesn't matter. You're up.
All right, we're at Buffalo.
Let's go with, I think they need a safety, right?
Oh, damn it. Yes, they do.
Blue Jays extended Alejandro Cook.
Whatever's the best one. Doesn't matter to me.
Guardians trade for Nolan Jones.
Oh, wow.
What else we got here? Any updates?
And we are at 113. It is Frisco. Kenny?
All right, San Francisco.
Come on, GM.
I've gotten an offensive tackle. I've gotten a linebacker. I've gotten a tight end. I got my cornerback.
Well, a corner, linebackers. Yeah, you got.
Did I get a corner?
You haven't got a corner. You got a linebacker, a center, a tight end, and an offensive tackle.
Show me the cornerback, because there can't be many left if there even are any now. Oh, wow. We don't have a safety yet, huh? I'm so mad that they're...
I mean, it's not necessarily that much of a reach, Denzel Burke.
I got to be honest with you. I kind of missed... I wanted to go cornerback first, but that was because Tyler Warren fell, and I just couldn't pass on him. But if not, we'd have a better cornerback. I'll just say that. No, you know what I'm going to do, honestly? I'm going to take Billy Bowman, safety. We'll get cornerback another time.
The ball hawking safety to play free.
Have you
safety.
seen Billy Bowman? Oh, you know who? I like Billy Bowman. I also like Lathan Ransom in Ohio State.
Look, Scatterbo's getting up there. And we're at Buffalo. What do you want? What do you want there, David Corona?
I think he stepped away for a second. Just for real quick on the Niners, we didn't need a safety, from what I understand, but I just feel like we do. Anyone else?
I feel like we do because we got Jair Brown, Mustafa. We signed a guy,
But he's
and
like a special
we
teams guy.
normally carry 4. So why not have a guy on a cheap rookie deal?
Yeah, and I think that the safety we signed was really for special teams anyway, right? Is it Richie Grant? Or he might have a shot at
he's a free safety. A lot of people say that, but he's a free safety with starting experience.
Okay.
So I don't know if he was actually signed. Yes, he will help out on special teams.
Some people like him. He's a great tackler, so
he could be potentially our starting free safety this next year.
Very possible.
All right, David Corona. Well, like Kenny, what'd you have as the Buffalo needs more again?
I'll tell you again. Edge, defensive tackle, and cornerback.
Let's go with edge.
It's a good idea because that's probably getting very thin right now as well.
Yeah, right.
Edge.
Edges.
I'm willing to bet you're going to be ranked around the 200s here because.
Wow, they're probably all gone. Probably.
Look, 178. There's Q Robinson. There's your boy.
Hey,
Go ahead, get him.
Elijah Roberts and Q Robinson. I love them both.
Whatever you want, doesn't matter.
Q.
He's like, these guys got him listed as linebacker / edge. This guy's a defensive end / edge.
I really like Elijah Roberts, man.
This
guy
wouldn't
right
mind. He's productive and big.
Yeah, he played that good game in that bowl game.
Cheeky paws. Yeah, I'm going with the Mustang, baby. But listen, I love Q. I think everybody loves Q.
All right, David Corona, which one you want? You want the Mustang or do you want the Crimson Tide?
Give me the guy on top. He did pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a nice year.
Yeah, he did pretty good in that bowl game.
Probably a top 10 guy, if you ask me. That he's still here, kind of like baffles me, to be honest.
All right, those are all junk trades, buddy. So
junk trade.
You're at pick 138. This is what you picked so far, Kenny.
Oh, I'm up again? Okay. Let's see. Now I'm going to look at cornerback again, even though I don't think it's going to really happen for us. Everyone's like, why didn't he take a defensive tackle? We need defensive tackles. Okay, now I'm going to go for my boy, Dorian. Oh, that's not my dude. That's Dorian Strong. I like Dorian Porter. Damn. Can you take me to DT?
Yeah, we're desperately needing DT. That's why I was just thinking, like, what's he?
Yeah, and there he is, Jordan Phillips, bro. I feel like we just got him. Maybe the last good guy in my opinion, Jordan Phillips there. Even though I do like JJ Pagay.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm taking Jordan Phillips. I feel like we just got it. Even though he's a very small defensive tackle, of course, 6'2", but that's why these guys are here now, though. I mean, people probably take Pegas.
Well, who is?
We could also take Pegas though if he falls to us. If I can pick again, I'd take them both.
Well, we're gonna pick Jordan Phillips because that's what you said.
Yeah, 100%.
But he's. But so what if they're 6'2"? I mean, that's lower pad level. That's leverage. That's leverage.
Yeah, no
and
problem.
It's you again, buddy, because we're in the 5th round.
Yeah, we are. And I feel like I got everything I want. So give me the Pegas, baby. I don't care about Jamari Caldwell. I do not like the Oregon Ducks. I don't care they had one great season. I'm not interested. JJ Pegas, Ole Miss, defensive tackle and fullback.
There's both the defensive tackles.
He's also a fullback.
And guess what? This is the Jordan Mason trade-up pick.
Wow.
Oh, the Jordan Mason pick trade?
Yeah.
Yes.
The guy Pegas that I last
give me the big board. There we go.
Refrigerator Perry is Pegas. That's kind of like his comp.
All right, so there's the best player available supposedly is a quarterback.
Wow.
Let's just see what you got here.
Everybody wants Jeffrey Bassa, but I already took D-Knight, and we already have 3 or 4 other linebackers, so I can't do it. And I don't like Oregon. Sorry, again. Sorry, Armstead. Sorry, Buckner. Pull the old. Take me down to Chinatown, David.
Hey, why don't look at all those Oregon players?
I know. Why would they still be?
Look at all those Oregon.
It's supposed to be so great. We met with all of them. We're signing them all.
He's like, take
We
me
probably
aboard.
will. Oh, look at Jake.
Look, there's another guy.
Hey, there's Jamari.
Yeah. Look at all those guys.
Yo, David. There it is. I'm sorry to do it, but Holland Pierce, OT Rutgers. Click on my dude. You know who he is.
Oh, that guy?
6'8", 341 pounds.
Rutgers.
That's Spongy's team too, huh?
Trenton, baby. That's nasty. Look at my dude with the blue and
That
the green.
span. Look at those arms. 36,
The
86,
blue.
and 5'8" span. Holy
Yo.
moly.
This
Yeah, get that
this
guy.
mother
Get that
effer
guy.
got Blues. If he's got the blues, you know he's good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. 2 offensive tackles. Let's go.
That's crazy.
And I
They
got
should have-
didn't I get 2 D tackles? I believe I
They
did.
should have Kenny Cope, the GM for the Niners.
Yo, I've been trying to tell people, bro. No.
Right?
All right, we're at the Houston Texans. We're at the Houston Texans now.
All right.
I got 2 picks back to back.
I
Very
drafted
different on draft day,
offensive line
sure.
players, defense. All right. Let's look at some offensive players for them. Let's go wide receiver first. All right.
God knows
Oh
what
no!
do.
Oh no!
Is that a bear cat? What is
Kyle Williams.
the hell is that's not a bear cat. That's not a bear cat.
Poor guy. If you get drafted to the 49ers, people are going to be making mistakes.
Anyway,
Right?
let me.
Oh man.
Nick Nash has got a nice little cult following right now.
So I am not a huge fan of San Jose State for better reasons, but this kid has been making like a lot of local noise,
Yeah,
and so I'm going to take the kid from San Jose State.
that's a good pick. I know people like him a lot. Jesus.
Amber Buffalo, 2 picks in a row.
And then another one. Look at it. Yo,
So will they need Kenny a linebacker or?
dude, honestly, at this point, you can take whoever you want, Corona.
Just draft whatever you want.
Yeah, because they just have a million picks, and it doesn't seem like they need anything. So this is really weird.
You can do whatever you want. Just pick whatever
Give me another edge rusher.
I don't know what Buffalo did, but like they have a lot of picks, but they don't have any needs. I don't know like what they're gonna do.
Wow, you're like
BPA, I guess.
the edge rushers are pretty much gone at this point. 9.5 sacks.
Oh yeah, Ahmad is a late sleeper dude.
Yeah,
So-
give me that guy.
That's
Give me that. I take care.
production, though.
Yeah, look where he's from. Anyone see where he was from? Cairo, Egypt.
Oh wow.
Yo, he came a long way. He's got to go to the show.
That's
All right.
draft him.
Yeah, I get him.
Honestly, a lot of people after like the top 20, 30 defensive guys, their tackling really goes down a lot. So I wouldn't fault him too much for having a 47 tackling.
Give me a linebacker. What are you on right now?
Ooh,
We're in the
look at
fifth round.
that. Look at that. You got your Oregon guy that Kenny loves so much, Jeffrey Vasa.
Yeah, go for it then. Thank you.
I mean, I love Bassa at this point. Yeah.
It'd
Kaiser.
be crazy not to take him at this point, but we're right back to Corona again.
Oh yeah.
Just pick the best available at this
You know what
point.
you need?
Yeah, the
You
best
need a backup-
available.
Probably need a backup quarterback for Josh Allen's weak ass. Just got a 6-year deal, so you know he'll probably get hurt.
Wow.
Got it.
Wow.
Go for that guy if you want.
Yeah, so real quick, guys, tell me what you think. I was in a chat and I was saying like Dree Greenlaw probably gonna be hurt by week 4. Now, here's what I'm asking you. Does that mean that I'm a bad guy? I just think he might be hurt again immediately. That doesn't mean I want him to be hurt. That's a very different thing. But everyone was like, oh, that's messed up. And I was like, why? I'm not saying I want him to get hurt. I'm just saying he's probably going to be hurt. I thought
Maybe.
Yeah, he's still not healthy in that the Super Bowl injury.
Maybe it's your tone, Kenny. Maybe.
But I was in the chat. You can't tell. Actually, you probably can tell Kenny Tone in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead. McKnight, anyone you want.
So
Riley Leonard.
So in your
I'm
defense,
just looking at
last
guys
year,
like this guy from Syracuse. Damn, he threw for a lot of yards.
Kyle
So-
McCord, one of the nicer quarterbacks.
Go ahead, get him then. Back at quarterback.
He's from Jersey too, by the way.
In your defense, Kenny.
Yeah.
When the Eagles gave Barkley a lot of money, I was concerned of his production, and I was also concerned that he might get hurt because when running backs get paid, things like that happen. So it's an observation that you were trying to say.
Yeah, I really honestly was just trying to say, look, the guy hurt himself jumping up and down. It wasn't even during the game. It's very possible that my man has just hit a point where his tendons are not like as tight as they used to be, man. You get old. You get wear and tear like CMC.
Are we seriously on Buffalo again? Let me look, make sure.
Yeah, he got like 7 picks, I thought.
So you got 2 picks in the 7th round, John Jay.
Yep.
Kenny's got like 3.
That's not so bad.
I'm done, huh?
I think I got an edge. Yeah.
No, oh no.
No?
This is yours. I was just confirming it. 177.
Oh, damn.
You have 2 picks left.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
okay.
almost
You should be up even again.
Oh, wow.
Jake Majors is still there?
Yeah, go for him if you want.
He's the top-ranked center, everyone, just so you realize.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, but I'm saying, look where he is. Like, it's crazy. Like,
He's not that good then.
I mean, I'm not a
He
scout.
already picked linebacker and QB. That's the top 3 players on the board there. Ooh, CJ.
Buffalo's up again. Buffalo's up again.
And this is, I believe, your last pick in the draft.
Okay.
Center, QB, linebacker, defensive line / edge, defensive end edge, safety, corner, offensive tackle, wide receiver is what you've taken.
Okay. Linebacker. I don't know, not a cornerback or doesn't matter, whatever you want.
How about they could, I mean, here's a running back from Virginia Tech, right?
Oh, yeah, they might need another running back. I forgot about that. Yeah, go for him then.
4.32, dang, he's a scat back.
Oh, damn. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that he would be dangerous out of the backfield in Buffalo.
Yeah, he would.
All right, Kenny, guess what?
Yeah. All right.
No, he was taken in last year's draft. He's the starting edge on the Buccaneers. No, his name was seriously yeah. Like, yeah.
Now, I know
Yeah.
I know there aren't any edges left, but I need to at least take an edge in this draft, at least one.
Have you took two interior defensive linemen, 2 offensive tackles, a safety, a center, a linebacker, and a tight end. And no, there are no edges left. You're talking like ranked 250. Hold on. I'm just guessing 311.
I know, but that's why it's good to look up these guys and see what they do, because you never know. We might need to take a guy at that point. We might need to take more than one edge. We got a lot of picks. And somebody could be hiding out here in the back, in the back of the stadium, like waving like, yo, nobody knows I'm here, but I'm good. Philip Webb, for example, I feel like, he's not. He's like is he an edge or is he a tackle or a defensive tackle? It looks like he's a 4-3 guy, I guess.
5.5 sacks.
This
guy's actually decently
what is it, 0
productive.
tech or 1 tech?
Hold on a second. You want to see Jackson State guy?
Yeah, I do. Philip Webb.
So defensive line / edge, Jackson State. What is that? Division 2?
Jackson State.
His
that's
hometown is Atlanta.
Is that where John Jay would know better? Is John Jay still here?
Jackson State is a historical black college And
HBCU.
So they're not, Power 5, Group of 5. They're a own entity, so it's like its own, like jurisdiction, and so it's like Division 1.
John Jay, is that where Shador played or no?
Yeah, Shador, Hunter, and where Sanders coached.
I'm going to go with Philip Webb. I feel like he could be one of these players that didn't leave to Colorado and is still good. He looks like a good player to me.
Yeah, and you're not ranked that high from Jackson State, for no reason.
Listen, yeah, he's not ranked 200. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, we're on the Texans. Their last pick. Let me show you John Jay what he's took. I don't even have to scroll down because they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks.
All right. I want to look at cornerback.
Jamari Harris from Iowa. Bill, what the F? Bill Hall? Cone?
There's a K. I'm going to take the Clemson kid, RJ. What does that say? Mickens?
Yes, the safety.
Oh, that's a safety. I'm taking then the Iowa guy.
He looks like he's happy to be here. 6 foot. He's got good size.
Yep.
3 interceptions. Dang. Passes defended 7. Not bad. Not bad for the 7th round, right? Or 6th. And we are. Is it seriously the Houston Texans again? Yep.
All right. I want to look at tight end. I think this is my official last pick. Let's see. And I'm taking the Luke Lanky. Yeah.
Lackey?
Yeah.
Iowa State. He's from tight end U.
Yeah. And I'm done.
Now it's Kenny's turn for 3 picks.
In the row.
I believe. Let me make sure that he's got all the picks left. He probably does.
What
Buffalo's
do I got?
Done.
I have picks left? Two, right?
Yeah, you got 3 more left, I think.
Right,
I think you got 3 more left.
Houston's done. Kenny, you have 3 7th round picks.
Wow. Yeah, just take me to all.
Which I think the Niners are going to be doing some trading up, so I highly doubt we end up with that many 7th rounders. But what do you want to look at?
I mean, I know that those guys are sitting right there, so I don't want you to think I'm getting lazy. But I mean, I love Ricky White.
You want to start looking at running backs?
No, I love Ricky White. You could take Ricky White right now, wide receiver. This guy, he returns punts. He's a wide receiver, and he can block kicks. You put him on teams, and my man has blocked multiple kicks. He's also he's done plenty. He's a great wide receiver. I take Ricky White.
And it's actually we've been trying to improve safety special teams. So yeah, there you go. And it's you again, Kenny.
Yeah. Pull me down a little bit. I love Kyle Monangai, but I just took Rutgers guy, and I know we need a running back too, though.
Hold on a second.
Always can use a running back.
Nope. Just gotta look.
You know what? In fact, all I want to look at is running.
Philip Webb. Oh, you took Philip Webb with the first. All right, this is the last pick.
Yeah, just show
so
me.
You want me to pull you down?
All I need is running back. So you could just go to running backs. I'm gonna make a pick for running back because we didn't pick one, and we only have 2 or 3 guys right now.
There's Phil Mafia.
Phil Mafia. He even dressed like he's in the Mafia. I love it.
Yeah, he does. Look at that. Purple, purple.
Black.
So here for me, it's really about whether it's going to be Monangai or whether it's going to be Marcus Yarns, Rutgers or Delaware. And so I'm going to go Monangai because he's ranked better. But I do love Marcus Yarns.
17 receptions, 297 yards.
I mean, we play Delaware State. We play Towson. It's not really a devastating conference or whatever. We don't really play the greatest teams, but he was a very good player just in general.
And who else did you want to look at? Or
Kyle
take?
Monangai, right there. Second running back right there from Rutgers.
Monangia?
It's Monangai, I think.
Are you sure it's like fungi?
Yeah, like fun guy.
Like fungi?
He's a fun guy, and he's from New Jersey.
So 10-yard versus 3-cone. They do not have a 3-cone on them yet.
Yeah, I hate when they do that. Shuttle's not great. 40 is okay. I mean, he's not even very big, so it's not like he's running through people. Scroll down to see what they rank him.
He's
in
211. He's 5'8", 211. So he's 1 inch shorter than me and got about 20 pounds on me right now.
Yeah, those numbers aren't bad though. Look at his stuff. Like the percentages are nice. What I don't like is what ESPN.
Run blocking 67, pass blocking 61. I mean, in the 7th round, that's
what I'm saying.
good.
Those numbers that he's getting for in general all those categories are usually a lot better than usually. That one guy's all the way at the bottom on one category. Edwards is supposed to be nice too. I just don't like Michigan guys because they, Ronnie Bell, Ambry Thomas,
Jake Moody.
Who else we got?
Jake Moody.
I didn't want to say it.
I did.
Yeah.
I said it.
I mean, he's probably what most people would pick, but I'm going to go with the Rutgers guy because I'm from New Jersey. It's that simple. And
well, you're not going to go with Phil Mafia?
It
looks like he's in the Mafia.
Jake Moody should be cut, right?
He's really good, too.
This guy's freaking big, but I mean, his pass blocking and run blocking and
but look what
ESPN,
horrible. 24/7 Sports and Rivals, they liked him a lot though.
He's big. Who's Corey Kinner?
He's another guy, Kiner, I think it is, or Keener. Keener. I really don't know, to be honest with you. I thought I heard somebody say Kiner. He gets mad. He's all red and orange and yellow.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got anger issues, maybe. All right.
Now, you know what? Honestly, after seeing all those guys, I would have gone Phil Mafia, like you said, but I'm going to take the Rutgers guy.
The guy's dressed like he's in the Mafia.
He really is.
Right.
He's the one who should be from New Jersey. That's Buffalo, right? Whatever. You get Jake Majors at that pick. I mean, that's not a bad pick at all.
That's a really good pick.
He's at least the second best or the first best.
I mean, he'll probably be a second or third rounder, realistically.
If somebody needs a center that bad, they probably will.
Josh Simmons, this is Texans. TJ Sanders, Tate Ratledge. They went trenches early.
Those picks right away were
3 picks. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Simmons.
And this is 49er draft, folks. Keep in mind, I'll be taking the GM reins back like the one right before the draft. But he got Kelvin Banks Jr., Tyler Warren, Demetrius Knight, Jared Wilson, center. Although Jared Wilson's not going to be starting, he's going to be sitting. Hopefully behind Hennessy, and they can just do the right thing with Brendel. But Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle. JJ Pigos, defensive tackle. I actually like those picks too. Holland Pierce, man, that guy is a mountain.
He is.
He is a freaking mountain, Kenny.
I like when he tries to kick out. He's so huge.
He's 6'8", 341. I would have him kick out, and be running up the field. People are going to be like, "No." They're going to be making business decisions. They're like, "Nope, I'm not doing that."
No, they're going to quickly go inside as fast as they can if he does that.
But Philip Wedd, edge, could be a sleeper.
CG, I'm sorry, man. We keep missing you. I was deep in the draft, bro. I didn't even check the chat for a second.
I didn't even check the chat either. Who's in here? Oh, what's up, everybody?
Oh, our Kenny, our draft sucks because Steve-O lost his earbuds.
I know. I said that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, did you guys hear that interview by Debo? He's I'm happy to be a commander, and it's gonna be a fun season.
Hell yeah.
He's happy to be a commander. Well, congratulations.
Yep, that's what he said.
Well, he's gone. He's not on our team. So boo. All right.
Yeah, he can be a commie. That's fine.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Um,
Great show.
Yeah, it was a great show. I have a mystery guest coming on next week, folks. You're gonna have to tune in. I literally just locked that down. You know, like yesterday or today. I can't quite remember. It's been a blur. I've been so busy.
Yep.
But yeah, I just locked that down. I do have a special guest coming on next week. We're maybe supposed to get Kyle the Broncos fan on this week, but I honestly think maybe he wants to do a warm up with us. Maybe he'll hop on Wednesday. We don't know. You know, he's never been on with us, so might have just been a little nervous and decided not to do tonight because Levi and Joe weren't here, right? But yeah, special guest, super secret. He is a 49er content creator.
Oh, yeah, right on.
You just have to tune in to see who it is, folks. Private chat, I got 7. Oh, it's you. I was like, what? Did Spongy, buddy, you spiked the punch and you didn't make it.
Darn.
he was doing that walk.
Spike the punch.
Darn.
He's doing the walk.
No, he's doing the crawl.
Oh. Oh man.
Oh, it's cool. But all right, guys, let's get on out of here. Still early Saturday night for you guys. You know, it's 10:30 for me, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
So what do you guys got going on this week, Kenny? I mean, you got the Power 32.
Yeah, apparently we're going every Thursday. So I mean, just assume we're on every Thursday. I don't know what the hell we talk about.
And you had quite the spicy show going on last week. You know, that was straight up entertaining. I'm like, I was like watching. I like put popcorn emojis in the chat. It was hilarious.
Well, I told those guys, look, if you've ever seen the movie Private Parts, it's a movie about Howard Stern's life, and he's sitting there and he's doing his show, right? And it's really boring, and everyone's bored, and he's like, I got to do something. And so that's what we did. And unfortunately, probably no one stayed that long to catch it, but if they did, it should have been entertaining.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on out of here. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget Niners Coast to Coast on Monday. It's going to be on my channel. I actually probably should make that right when I'm done here.
I'll probably have. I'll go ahead.
Corey Davis, 49er Wednesday, which we might be mixing in a little bit of trivia. I got to find some questions that you guys ain't going to be able to answer. I'll work on that.
I usually get my,
of course, mock draft episode 9 with my special guest. Maybe I'll announce it during the week. I'll talk to him just to make sure it's cool.
Oh, I already know who it is. That's right. No spoilers.
So
I think you do know who it is.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Yes.
Before I forget, if anybody is doing a show, I've decided to use my platform to promote shows. So Wednesday, I will be simulcasting McNiners. So
you got that right.
Hopefully, with my help, you'll have 200 subscribers.
And because John Jay has like over 1,000.
So I will be just doing that. Basically, I've been thinking about it, and every time I'm on a stream with you guys, so this will incentivize you guys. If you guys ever want a guest,
yeah, that'll be
your stuff on the platform. And so
that's awesome.
That's what I did.
Exposure.
Yeah. So
that's a great idea, man.
Like a promotion. So John Jay will be promoting you.
That's awesome.
Ooh, I'm at 196.
Yep.
I'll probably I'll get my umpire schedule on Sunday night, so I'll probably have an umpire all week.
Oh, you're lucky.
All right, buddy. Well, let us know. If
I'll let you know.
Wednesday, we'll be there next week, right?
Yep, for sure.
My best friends are
nice. So Niners Coast to Coast on Monday. I might just just go through the effort of creating all 3 shows right now, just so they're there. And then Corey Davis 49er Wednesday on Wednesday, and then the mock draft episode 9, folks.
Mhm.
Tune in to see who the special guest is. It is a 49er content creator that you just don't see too often anymore.
And like always, what we say, F the Rams,
That's
and
right.
let's go
And
Niners.
Corey Davis says, go 49ers and F all 31